Today on Fresno State Focus, we'll tell you how you can vote early this upcoming election.
We'll also learn about people running for the election for the very first time.
Plus, we'll dig into phishing problems surrounding Fresno State emails. Fresno State Focus starts now. Hello, and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Alex Flores.
And I'm Efren Mata. Thanks for joining.
There are 20 days until the election, but people here in California are already casting their ballots through the mail.
Other states like Virginia, Georgia, and Arizona, voters are going to the polls already.
If you still need to register to vote, we'll show you how in just a moment.
According to NBC News, 51% of early votes across the country are coming in from Democrats. 32% of early votes are coming in from Republicans, and 17% of independents are voting early as well. If you're not registered to vote yet, don't worry, there's still time.
Ray Franco is live with more on how to register. Ray, what can you tell us?
Hey guys, I am live at the Student Rec Center at East Gen, where the in-person voting will take place on the election day. I'll tell you where you can drop your mail ballot in one of the locations, but first, I'm gonna tell you how you can register to vote if you haven't already. You can register to vote at any library or downtown office nearby. If you want to do it online, go to California Secretary of State website. You must be a United States and Fresno County citizen and at least 18 years old to register. When you are registering in person or online, it's going to ask you your date of birth, your social security number, and your ID. Registration must be completed by Monday, October 21st for regular processing. After Monday until Election Day, you can still do same-day voter registration, but you must do it in person.
So this is one of the most important elections that we have in any cycle. Along with the presidential election, which we have every 4 years, the November election is when we have our local contests, your cities, your school districts, your local special districts. Those groups that directly take your tax money and use it to provide you services. So this is your opportunity to have a say in your local governance and how they provide services to you.
Cruz also said, do not wait until election day to register, but there will be a long line. If you want to send your ballot in a mailbox, there is one location that you could drop it off, and that is at My Cinemas. It is right between, at Campus Square, it's right between My Cinemas and MacDuck Craft Brewing. If you want to find out your nearby location where you want to vote, or the mail inbox you're nearby, or more information on how you can register, visit votefresnocounty.org. Reporting nearby State Mark Center, Ray Franco, Fresno State Focus.
Your vote is extremely important. Joining me today is Faith Van Hoven, president of ASI, just to explain how important your vote is. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
I'll start off. Are you registered to vote?
Yes.
Yes. Can you explain to me and our viewers what's important of registering and casting your vote?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to civic duty and civic engagement. You know, being a part of the United States of America, I think that we have a democracy where we get the choice to amplify and exonerate our voices. And so it's important that we do that because we are given a privilege that not everyone has.
So what would you tell our viewers or even your peers, right, that think that their vote may not matter?
You know what, I get that a lot, and I understand where that claim comes from, but when we're voting on the November 5th, we're seeing that it's not just the presidential election. We're voting on California propositions, we're voting on local school board elections, and those are really where you see the change within your community, and so you should be a part of that.
Okay. What are some ways that Fresno State is helping students register or making it easier for them to do that?
Yeah, so Fresno State ASI, we actually sponsored Voter Registration Week, where we held tables for the whole entire week, where we got students to register to vote, as well as to check on their registration information and update it if they needed anything.
Do you know if there's any ballot boxes on campus?
So there's unfortunately not any ballot boxes on campus. The closest one is Campus Point.
Okay, and then for our commuters, right, that are traveling into Fresno and then out of Fresno, Do you know what resources they may have or where they can go to cast their ballot or even register as well?
Yeah, so they can always use the online resources like the Women Leagues of Voter. I really love that one because it gives a detailed breakdown of those propositions as well as what's going to be on the ballot. Also, ASI has some resources, so if there's ever any questions or student needs, we're here to help and support those.
And can you tell us what are some things that you might need to bring with you, right? There's some requirements if you want to vote that you need to show.
Yeah, so make sure you have your ID. You'll need a pen and pencil, and just also, depending on how long, you need to bring your ballot too if you're voting in person, so you can drop it off.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Faith. I appreciate you for coming out. There are a lot of new faces running the election at the level this cycle for the first time. Brian Welch dives into a couple citizens running for office this year.
When looking through the voter information guide this election cycle, you might notice some new names running in the election. There's somebody running for school board for the first time. Dan Borbona, an educator for 30 years, now he's running for a position on the Fresno Unified School Board for the first time. He says being a teacher is important to run for school board.
Sometimes there are questions that should be asked because these things are impacting what's happening at our schools and not always in a positive way.
Borbona is running for a seat in Area 6, which includes Hoover High School. He says it is important that teachers have a voice on the board.
I don't think there's any ill intent on any board member, but I think they just lack that deeper level of understanding of how our school system works.
As you travel down Shaw Avenue to Clovis, another first-time candidate is running for school board. In Area 2 of the district, Wilma Hashimoto is running for school board. Hashimoto has been a part of education at different levels. She is the executive director at CASA in downtown Fresno. Hashimoto says she thought about running for a long time before entering the race.
It was really laid on my heart, quite honestly, that knowing that I've had this experience, the 28 plus the 6, so 34 years of advocacy, and because I spent a good deal of being prepared for this role.
Politicians who are running for the first time in this 2024 election cycle are not alone, with students at Fresno State who are voting for the first time on November 5th. Like Lillian Kane, who is the first female in her family to vote.
So to me, it's actually really important just because I have a say in what we do.
If it is voting for the first time or running for an office, these three will never forget this election cycle. In Fresno, Brian Welch, Fresno State Focus.
There are only 20 more days until the general election on November 5th. Remember to vote.
Students are facing an increase in tuition and fees. Mason Beaver tells us this is the first tuition hike in several years, and students around the campus are feeling the impact.
Melanie Mora splits her time between being a psychology major and the ASI senator for research and technology. She's overwhelmed by the recent increase in tuition and fees.
So that did put a little more stress on me just because I know for a fact I will be having to take out an even bigger loan for my education.
Melanie Mora is a psychology student and first year as part of the ASI group. Mora says the increase in tuition and fees has made it difficult for students to afford housing and transportation. Frederick Lisitsa is the ASI executive vice president. He says the cost of education is beating inflation.
The value that students are getting for their education is lowering every year, but the cost is going up.
This is a two-part problem. Student tuition is going up 6% for the next 5 years, and student fees are going up 3%, which seems to be like an eternity to pay for this, the RSU.
The Collegian reported on the fee increase in 2022, saying students will pay for the RSU for the next 3 decades. Last year, students paid $168 in fees. That goes up to $337 in 2026 and $706 a year in 2051. CSU's public affairs director says tuition and fees fund 40% of Fresno State's budget, with 60% coming from the general fund.
When the state isn't able to fully fund the university's needs, the CSU has to make up the difference.
Students will continue to fight against tuition increases and fees to secure a more affordable and fair education for themselves and future generations. Mason Beaver, Fresno State Focus.
Fresno State is not the only CSU campus affected by the tuition increase. Go to california.edu to find out how much your school tuition rates will change.
Former One Direction singer Liam Payne died today. The star fell from a third-story building in Buenos Aires, Argentina. The English singer first joined the band in 2010 and appeared on many tours with the band until they broke up in January of 2016. He was in Argentina to support his former bandmate, Niall Horan, who was performing there. Coming up on Fresno State Focus, we'll explain how you can get better sleep.
Plus, I'll tell you how to spot, report, and avoid phishing scams.
Week's highs and lows, all that when we come back.
At Fresno State, being bold means committing to something greater than yourself. It's learning by doing and nurturing leaders to advance our shared future. It's using research to create a better life for those around us and healing those who need us most. These are our stories, because at Fresno State, bold begins here.
Success. At Fresno State, it's no secret. It's discovering new ways to change our world. It's creating opportunities as diverse as our community itself. It's in the distinction of our graduates as they lead us into the future. Success is no secret at Fresno State. It's our mission.
Hi everyone, I'm Marisol Rubio with your focus on weather. As you can see behind me, I have a photo from the second floor of the Resnick Student Union. So you can see there's a lot of clouds everywhere. It looks like there's a storm heading our way. Now let's take a look at the national satellite. So as you can see over here, we do have a lot of water coming in. We're gonna have a storm, we're gonna have some rainfall. So watch out today, make sure you're wearing a sweater. Now let's take a look at the western satellite. You can see there is a lot of moisture here still. So definitely stay indoors. And we also have high wind warning in the Mojave Desert. Now let's take a look at today's highs. If you could see, we do have around high 70s, so 78 in Merced, 75 in Mariposa, 82 in Mendota. Now let's take a look at today's lows. As you can see over here, we do have 52 in Mariposa, 53 in Madera, 54 in Fresno, and 55 in Hanford. Now let's look at the air quality. So it's mostly moderate. It is good in San Joaquin, Stanislaus, and in Merced. So if you have time, I mean, if you have an umbrella, definitely go for a walk. I would recommend it because there might be some rainfall later today. And this is the extended outlook. So it will be around 74 to maybe high 70s, I would say, for the rest of the week. So if you have time, definitely go outside, stay under some roofing, and maybe carve a pumpkin or something. That's your focus on weather.
With the weather changing and daylight saving time ending soon, we may finally get a good night's sleep with it getting darker earlier. If you still have trouble, Ray Franco shows us how you can get a good night's sleep back on track.
In the college lifestyle, there are lots of things that students are prioritizing, such as grades, be on time, and other personal needs. But there is one thing that students overlook, and that is sleep.
So we actually get a lot of students that come in dealing with a multitude of issues when it comes to sleeping.
And there are several factors to this causing this unhabit sleep schedule, such as be on your phone too much, or having too much caffeine, or even stress or anxiety.
There is a solution to that problem.
Talk about things like sleep hygiene. What can you do to kind of prepare yourself? And it's almost like training your brain and training your body to get exhausted, or things that you can do before bedtime to kind of exhaust yourself to ensure that you're getting to sleep.
Sleep hygiene can be an example of something like this.
Quieting my atmosphere as best I can before I go to bed, calming things down, quiet music or no music, because sometimes we're just inundated with noise. So just no music, dimmer lights, no phone for 30 minutes, and it honestly helps kind of calm your mind down.
The Student Health Center is ready for anyone to reach out to them. Reporting in campus, Ray Franco, Fresno State Focus.
You can make an appointment by walking in or doing it online. Also, Academic Success offers time management workshops for all students. Career readiness is a great way to get a head start on your job search. Mary Willis, Executive Director of the Career Development Center, is also here with us today. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
So what career services can career development give to students, and how can we access them?
Oh my goodness, there's such a variety of services, and a lot of students think we're just about resumes and interviewing, but we're also very focused on helping students make informed decisions about their initial career direction. Also, we want to help them build their skills in verbal communication and written communication as it relates to effectively communicating their skills, knowledge, and experience to a prospective internship site, employer, or graduate school selection committee. So we offer services in all those areas, and we offer them through one-on-one counseling, our career cafe, where career peer mentors can provide initial assistance, workshops, and career recruitment events like our recent career fairs and other networking events.
Perfect. And what platforms or resources does the Career Development Center use to give those students internships or even jobs on campus?
Okay. One of the things we have, of course, is Hire Fresno State. That's our online internship job posting board for both full-time, part-time, on and off-campus positions. Additionally, our website is really robust. It has 24/7 access to just almost any career development related topic that you could imagine. We also have specific career communities that you can join and get updates as to new content that's been added to the website. So if you have a specific career interest or you belong to a particular affinity group, you can get customized content delivered to your email.
Perfect. And then are there any workshops, upcoming workshops, or anything to help students with their resume writing, cover letter, or even job search strategies?
We had several, and we do have one coming up. Admittedly, didn't check the date, but how you check the date is you go to careercenter.fresnostate.edu, and you can see a list of all of our activities on our homepage.
Okay, and once again, thank you very much, Mary, for joining us today. Yeah, with the stressful point, the midterm time, it can be easy to get worn down and pick yourself back up. Tomorrow, there will be a Thriving with the Growth Mindset workshop on the Zoom at 1 in the afternoon to help you push through the rest of the semester. This workshop will be hosted by the Fresno State Academic Success Coaches to help you defeat this negative imposter syndrome mindset.
Bulldogs, October is Mental Health Awareness Month. Fresno State has many programs available to students dealing with extreme circumstances. The CARE team, which is short for Campus Assessment Response and Evaluation Team, focuses on finding students facing significant personal struggles that may benefit from extra support. Students can also refer other students to the CARE team. Their mission is simple: support students in distress. If you need to talk with someone or want to refer a friend, visit studentsaffairs.fresnostate.edu.
You could also go to the Counseling and Health Center. There are many services for students. You can talk to someone and de-stress. Diana Carrillo, a counselor here at Fresno State, mentioned some services they provide for students during the semester and exams.
There's actually a therapy group that's called SOS, which is Success Over Stress, and that's specifically targeted for students that experience a lot of stress with academics.
Carrillo also says that they have crisis counseling for almost immediate sessions Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
If you or a student is going through a domestic violence situation, we have important information. The Fresno State Women's Alliance will be gathering in RSU Room 206 tomorrow night at 6:30 to recognize Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The guest speaker, Mindy Cates, works in Student Health and Counseling Center as a survivor advocate. She will give a virtual presentation on domestic violence and sexual assault and offer support to fellow survivors. All are welcome to join.
Fresno State's students, faculty, and staff have been receiving an increasing amount of scam emails since early last semester. Many do not know how to spot the difference between what's real and fake. As we get these emails, it is important to understand the issues and severities of them. I take a deeper dive to get the important catch when it comes to phishing emails. Since early last spring semester, many can remember the first time they got a phishing email stating that their account was about to be deactivated to internships on campus that pay upward of $500. Technology services here at Fresno State try their best to catch up with these emails. Bao Jory, the Vice President of Information Technology here at Fresno State, tells us what technology services are doing to help students.
We are always on the lookout, right, for our students to ensure that data is being protected. So right now, if you are, you're looking at your email and so forth, there is a warning banner on emails that we believe that may be suspicious.
Francisco Cardenal, ASI Senator of Academic Affairs, mentioned some helpful tips that he and others use at ASI when spotting phishing emails.
You can actually see a really good guide on kind of how to protect yourself from phishing emails, as well as how to report them. And then I believe there's even a little quiz that you can do to see if you can identify phishing emails.
Whether it be students, faculty, and even staff, these emails can reach anyone, anywhere. I think we got something here. Whether it be a free piano or $500 a week internships, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Before you click any links, always make sure to check the sender domain to end with .edu. Kinesiology major Elsa Mexicano says tech services are doing their job when it comes to new scam emails, especially when new ones are sent out.
I think they're a pretty good place right now. I mean, they catch it right away. They send like an email like that is a scam like within minutes. So I think like they're doing the best they can.
One of the biggest takeaways so far is to remember to check the sender domain, check the link, and never react on urgency. To report phishing, forward the emails to reportphishing@csufresno.edu. Coming up in sports, Fresno State is having the next game this Friday against Nevada. We'll take a look at what they're doing to prepare.
Plus, Devonta Adams makes a big announcement. Stay tuned for Sports with Bianca.
I got the bulldog spirit up in my head.
Up in my head.
Up in my head.
I got that bulldog spirit. Up in my head. Up in my head to stay. I got that bulldog spirit. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Got that bulldog spirit. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart to stay. I got that bulldog spirit. Down in my toes. Down in my toes. Down in my toes, I got that bulldog spirit. Down in my toes, hey! Down in my toes to stay. I got that bulldog spirit. Up in my head, deep in my heart. Down in my toes, I got that bulldog spirit. All over me to stay. I got that bulldog spirit.
Deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart, deep in my heart. I got that bulldog.
I'm Bianca Gonzalez with your Focus on Sports. Tomorrow, the women's volleyball team will compete against Air Force. The Dogs have won the last two matches against San Diego State and UNLV. Opposite hitter Addison Halusko took home Mountain West Offensive Player of the Week, coming through with a total of 54 kills between two matches. Air Force lost to Utah State 3-0. The women's soccer team will take on New Mexico and Albuquerque tomorrow. The Dogs lost to Nevada on Sunday. The Bulldogs had an early lead of 2-1, but fell. Kaylin Miller had 2 goals, one on Thursday and one on Sunday. Fresno State is preparing for their first game against Nevada. Over the weekend, Dogs lost in a frustrating game against Washington State, 25-17. Mikey Keene threw 2 interceptions during the game. The positive was running game with Elijah Gillum having 1 touchdown of the night. Interim head coach Tim Skipper says this week of preparation is normal against Nevada.
Keep a normal Tuesday, normal Wednesday. Then we're going to get to Thursday and try to make Thursday, Friday into one day. So we'll do that. We'll fly over there. Ton of adversity, backs against the wall, and we're going to see what we're made of.
Nevada is coming off a big win over Oregon State, 42-37 the weekend in Reno. Kickoff between the Wolfpack and the Dogs is 7:30 Friday night. The Fresno State equestrian team is ranked 7th in the NCEA. The Dogs will compete against TCU for their Big 12 home opener at the Student Horse Center Friday morning at 11. Admission is free, and you can finally enjoy the fall weather while watching Fresno State's undefeated equestrians. If you want to take a look at women's softball a little early this season, the Bulldogs will play on Sunday against Bakersfield at the Margie Wright Diamond. The Dogs will also play a doubleheader next week, one at Cal State Fullerton and the other against LMU in the Dogs' house. Former Bulldog Devonta Adams has been traded to the New York Jets after his request earlier this season. Despite the Raiders and the Jets having the same 2-4 record, Devontae will finally be reunited with Aaron Rodgers. That's your focus on sports. Back to you, Alex and Mata.
Yeah, no, definitely with that trade, it was kind of heartbreaking. Me as a Raider fan myself, once Derek Carr and Davante Adams connected, it was, almost like when they were here at Fresno State. How do you feel, Mata?
Honestly, yeah. If you look at the stats between Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers, that is one of the most historic combinations anyone's had. Real quick, the numbers together. 69 touchdowns, 7,590 yards, 622 receptions, and they're only going to add on to that. So great news for the Valley to see Davante Adams hopefully continue his Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hopefully him and Aaron Rodgers can keep connecting, making those great passes, receptions, and, from there, probably even Super Bowl. Art can be interpreted in many ways. Fresno State is hosting a graduate thesis showing highlighting social issues. The Phoebe Conley Art Gallery is showing work by Angel Liznikowski. Her artwork involves vultures, a girl surrounded by them, and a casket.
It's my favorite because it shows a little girl, and it shows the first stages of innocence and just being in the world of just the ruins that could be happening from if we get women's rights taken away, which is also in the artist statement of Angel.
Liznikowski says that the vultures symbolize the anticipation of death. This art will be showing tomorrow and Friday from 10 to 4 in the Phoebe Conley Art Gallery.
The Gibson Farm Market has new fall items. They have a large variety of pumpkins, squash, almonds, and wine. All will be available during their fall festival on Saturday morning. This fall festival brings in lots of people every year, and the Gibson Farm Market employee, Alana Azevedo, tells us what to expect.
There's going to be face painting, there's going to be samples and wine tasting, there's going to be a plant sale, which is huge because people just love the plant sale. So there's going to be some house plants that you guys can take home.
Azevedo says that plants and pumpkins are usually the first thing to go, so get there early if you want one of those. Two of our Focus crew members are missing today. Al Scott and Alexis Bruno are on their way back from Washington, D.C. right now. They spent the last 3 days covering the Central Valley Honor Flight, where 70 veterans ranging in from the ages 69 to 91 visited the war memorials in Washington, D.C. as part of a special program that takes veterans on a whirlwind tour around the Capitol.
Arlington today, that was really eye-opening to see the changing of the guard, the beauty, and Lincoln sitting in his big chair.
Doc Weiler served during the Korean War as a cook, baker, and a butcher. This is the scene from a previous welcome home at the airport 2 years ago. You can join in the fun and welcome our veterans home at the Fresno Airport tonight at 5:30. That's a pretty interesting little nugget right there. Our Central Valley veterans going to visit the Capitol and finally get that recognition that they deserve. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, definitely. After all that time that they spent serving our country, why not? It's our time to serve them, from the past, future, and present. People fighting for our country, it's great to recognize them and, move forward on that to continue it.
Yeah, and we will also have a report on that, a story on that from Al Scott here next Wednesday. Also, the Central Valley Honor Flight was founded in 2013, so they've been doing this for well over 10 years. And think about all the veterans as well as their guardians that they've been able to take free of cost to the Capitol, give them that respect, and also that welcome home. That welcome home, it's a beautiful sight. The last time we reported on it, it was really heartwarming.
Yeah, no, definitely. This being the 30th flight that they've taken, it shows the commitment that people are willing to take to, support these veterans and give them the time, the recognition.
100%. Well, next week on Fresno State Focus, hear about the women's eSport team on campus.
Plus, information on the new dorm at Fresno State.
Also, watch how women fight back against potential attackers.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.